Hello guys. This section I wanted to make on the campaign, and this will hopefully help some of you guys progress through the books, and kind of explain the importance behind leveling up through the books. So the campaign is one of the only ways, only one of the two ways that you can get hero shards in this game, and hero shards basically are your end game for heroic. So I just want to explain how I handled the campaign and my recommendations on kind of how to get through all the way to book 5 and get to your level 205, which is basically the most important level in my opinion to get to, because that's where you can grind all your 3-star gear to help you with not only the spider event but just continue to progress in the campaign. So first, just a couple initial thoughts. So the campaign, I believe it's, I just played it outright, uh, and it doesn't really start to get extremely difficult until you hit like book 3. Book 3, and I think it was fourth chapter. Yeah, fourth chapter, book 3. So like 140 is an extremely difficult level. So basically, what I did is I watch YouTube videos just to see how the level is. And keep in mind when you watch YouTube videos, um, usually you'll be watching someone who has way higher, like, minion powers are like a level 11. So it's not a really true representation, but they can at least show you how the level looks so that you can kind of make a decision on what minions would be best to counter what you have ahead of you. So that's why I recommend before going into a level, checking out the YouTube video just so you're not wasting your torches, um, and so you can progress as fast as you can through the campaign. So once you get to 140, though, I really think unless you spend a lot of time just getting your 2-star gear upgraded, it's pretty much very difficult to beat unless you have this one important minion called the Fire Witch. And this is why, if you're getting stuck at 140, I recommend grinding your arena, um, because you can get Fire Witch for free right at the 3,350 mark. So that's why it is my strong recommendation to, if you're struggling with 140, to get to this point in um, the battle arena, because it will make the rest of your your rest of your campaign much easier if you have this card. So that's one strong recommendation that I have for people who are stuck on like book 3 or whatnot. And then so the end all goal is to basically get into book 5, because book 5, once you get there, you get your 3-star gear, and your 3-star gear is what will help you maximize your damage in the spider event, and really will get you kind of to that end game content. So let me show you why 205 is the most important in my opinion, and I think most people's opinion. The one you want to go for is because 205 is, you can beat it in like technically under 20 seconds, but usually it's between 20 and 30 seconds, and you don't really have to focus on a whole lot. So I'm just going to play through this one time, but I just want to show you like why this level is important. If you are lower level and you don't have like super high up leveled equipment already, you might want to throw an alchemist in here, just because there are a lot of spiders that will go on the bottom lane and the top lane that can kill your portal, but this is why you want to definitely have the setup. But the most important thing about this is actually the spells. So Fury is an absolute must, and then the fire lane, and I'll show you why that is in just a second here. So I'm going to play a level and show you why you want to just continue to grind this over and over again. So always focus, just throw minions only in the middle lane. It's only important to focus on the middle lane. Once your Fury becomes available, you lay out the Fury. And then it's really, after that, it's really, throw Fire Lane if you have to in the far lane. but as you can see, I beat that in like 19 seconds. So it's just really quick, right? And the reason 205 is fine, it's because it's easy, and like even if you get to like chapter 5, book 5, the rewards aren't any better. You're still going to get the same amount of spell points. You're still going to get the same amount of like the amount of items you'll get will be the same number. And I don't really even think there's a advantage of odds of getting more 3-star gear or epic or rare higher up like legendary or epic gear. So that's why in my recommendation you just literally just farm this thing till the end of time. Also, if you haven't spent any of your, I'll figure out what they're called in a second, but they're like the little globes that just let you win the rewards of the level. Save those all until book 5 because that will give you a good start on getting your 5-star gear. Or sorry, not 5-star, your 3-star gear. But yeah, so yep. So basically, I'm just playing this. I throw this in the lane, and as you're watching the timer here, I should beat it before that, and really not a hard level, right? So you win. Cool. And you grind this until the end of time. I played this level with both my accounts probably over 10,000 times. And the reason you do that is because then you can sell the equipment to get the dust. You'll see here, you'll never really end up ever using 1 and 2-star gear. So I always sell it all, right? So I just usually just hit the auto select and just go like this until the end of time. We'll select 10 things at once. Special pro tip, so that you don't sell like items that you're working towards or that you're working on, you can actually equip them in the campaign so that you aren't able to sell them to like lock them in place. So what I mean by that is like, so you'll see here you'll have like 5 slots. So let's just say I go into any one of these levels. All right, so you have 5 slots in the top, right? So I would absolutely never want to lose the 5-star gear because it's extremely hard to get, and the 4-star gear, a legendary gear, is really hard to get, right? So if you go in here and you equip the best, it will then lock these spots, so you can't actually sell them until you unequipped, right? So gear that you want to like make sure you never sell accidentally, you can put in these slots. You have 5 of them, and you have like 5 different books. You have plenty of spots to save these, and they actually lock the gear down. You'll see that I've already done that to ensure that I just don't ever accidentally sell something that I want. See how these are all equipped, and you can't sell something that's equipped. So that's kind of a pro tip. And as I mentioned, you'd also like 1 and 2-star gear. You might as well just sell it. You'll never use it once you get to book 5. It's not worth upgrading, so you just continue to do this so you can get your dust up. And then what you do is you want to work on getting the perfect stats on your gear. So let me show you like how that's done essentially. So on Wildo, I think I have perfect gear on all my guys. So let me take you to one that I don't have a 5-star piece on yet, which I think you're actually Raoul is actually one that I don't. So okay, so the gear that you're looking for, and we do have guides on this, or there's like on like we have spreadsheets and whatnot that you can get the stats. But basically, on your left hand, you're looking for power, which you automatically get, siege, and then for Raoul, spell power is important. I mean, technically it's not that important because it only really boosts your spells that do damage, like Firewall, or it's called Fire Blast, like the Fire Lane, and as well as Fireball. Like, it doesn't actually help you with Fury. But it's, there's not really another stat that's awesome. Some people use Portal Health. But anyway, critical hit becomes super important because basically if you do get a critical hit, what it means is you actually do double damage for that hit, right? So the higher critical hit chance you have, the more powerful you can actually become. And on the 5-star gear, you can actually roll like 16%, 20%, and 24%, which really can help you out. Double damage is huge. So anyway, on this left hand, this is one of the only spots that you can actually get both power and siege on. You'll see that the left hand, the chest, and the boots are the three pieces of gear that you can get siege and power on, and it becomes super important to progress in the campaign, and also it's where you can get a lot of the damage done in the solo events. Um, you'll see a huge significant increase if you have both power and siege on these pieces of gear. So it's definitely one I'd focus on. So also bear in mind, your end goal is to, you know, maximize your minion power, but like to get these stats so that you just continue to do the most amount of damage possible. So this right here is a 4-star piece, but it does have the desired stats. It's got portal health, ability, siege, and power. The helmet is going to be spell power, which automatically rolls. The critical hit chance, I already mentioned the importance of that. Minion power and minion ability. I do want to go back to this chest just to point out one other thing. The chest is actually the only piece that can roll minion ability, power, and siege. And the minion ability, when you're starting out, isn't as important as it is later on. Because basically, once you get bloodstalker and soul reach, you can see a significant increase in your damage if you have minion ability, because it boosts it basically. So at the beginning, when you don't have those two important legendary cards for the spider event, it doesn't matter as much. But for later on, when you do have those cards, it becomes extremely important, and you'll see a very significant damage increase for that. So anyway, so let's move to the next one. All right, cool. So this one right here, the holster or belt. These are definitely the stats you want on here. Movement speed is pretty important because in the spider event, as you know, it's timed. So the quicker you can get down to the spider, the better. Which is why it's a very desirable stat. And also just note that when you equip best, usually the game, for whatever reason, doesn't see this as valuable as a ability as some of the others, so it will usually won't prioritize it. But it's important that you re-gear to include speed because of the reason I mentioned. So okay, cool. And then I just want to show you the last one. So the I already showed this one, and I already showed you the boots. Sorry, I already showed you them all. Cool. So yeah, just want to talk about the gear and kind of like the thought process behind that. And then as far as being efficient when selling gear, so once you have all your gear and you have some shards, you want to focus on what do you need. Focus also on the items that you already have perfect, because if you can sell those 3-star gear, note that you'll get like 5,000 dust each time, so it'll really help you in progressing to upgrade the rest of your gear, right? So I just want to show you kind of like how I think about upgrading gear. So if I click here, I know that I need power, siege, and speed on boots. So what I do is I just go here, continue to upgrade, and once I hit one of those stats that I don't want, like this, I get rid of it. And the reason for that being is as you level up the item, it gets more expensive in dust. So if you're already hitting a stat you know you don't need, sell it. Makes sense. And like I said, there's a few exceptions, and those exceptions are like it's in the importance of getting your power and siege on the left hand, the chest, and the boots. But beyond that, it's pretty much if you don't get one of the desirable stats, just sell it. So this has a siege, is what I want. So I'm going to continue to go on this. Okay, and okay, still perfect. Okay, so I didn't get like the perfect roll here, but I would absolutely keep this, especially if I didn't have the perfect one, because like it has the siege and the power, right? Which is what I mentioned as being probably the two most important stats for increasing and improving your damage, and also that health of your minions. So Cool. So I would keep this unless I already had a perfect one, which I do. So I will be selling that one. But just so you know, this is sell the stuff you're not going to use because it will increase your dust, and the dust is how you can increase the rest of your gear. So, okay. Well, so this is kind of just the first video that I had on gear and the campaign and my thoughts on the campaign. So I hope this is helpful, and I'll be doing some more more guides in the future. Have a great day, guys.